Hi, this is just a video that I did earlier this week from a presentation that I was talking to the group Richmond Really Sews about how I use sublimation with sewing. If it's something that you're interested in, please stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy.
And you are really wonderful. Okay, let's learn about sublimation.
All right, guys. I'm gonna tell you about sublimation according to me and how I use it with sewing. So the first thing about sublimation is you have to have a printer that is dedicated just to sublimation ink. So there are fancy printers out there on the market that are sublimation printers. However, if you know me, you know I did not buy one of those. I bought an Epson, I wanna say it's a 2820. So what it is an Eco Tank, one of the newer versions of the printer that Epson recently came out with, where instead of cartridges, you filled it with the ink, the bottles of ink. So that's what I use for my sublimation. I did what they call, I converted a regular printer to a sublimation printer. Sounds like I did a whole bunch. Did nothing but open the printer and pour the sublimation ink in there. So if somebody tell you they're gonna charge you $200 to convert a printer, it ain't even that serious. So you have to have sublimation ink. The next thing you have to have is heat press. It has to go to at least 400 degrees. Most things that you use for sublimation are pressed at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Almost anything that you're doing. There are exceptions to the rule if you're doing other things, but mainly what I use it for is to embellish my sewing projects, and most of my temperatures are 400 degrees for 60 seconds. It also has to be on polyester. 100% polyester is best. So let's say you go get a shirt and it's 40% cotton, 60% polyester. Will the sublimation ink tape? Yes, it will. Will it fade? Yes, it will, because the cotton fibers are not holding in the ink from only the polyester fibers are holding. So it will fade over time, but it will work. If you need a, I don't know, family reunion t-shirt for the weekend or whatever, it'll work. It just won't last. So the best thing is to get 100% polyester. Some of the things that I use sublimation for, I created this dress. It was a vintage pattern, and it looked, I was like, oh, I think I used the wrong fabric or whatever. It didn't look really, So I went and I added these like retro looking flowers to the bottom, and it just changed the whole look, and it actually made it look like it was from the era of this dress.
That is really
So that's one way that I use sublimation.
That is nice.
So, and I just went around the whole dress. So another thing with sublimation is you need to do on light colors. I was able to do on this blue, it is 100% polyester, but notice that I did black. Black is going to show up. Had I tried to do this on there, it would not look as vibrant or as beautiful. So when I do color, your color needs to be a light color. White does not, there's no white sublimation ink. White does not show up. So if you have a picture and it has white on it, it is not going to show up on this. So when I do color, I do a light color. So I have like this, or sometimes I'll do a pink or gray, but I normally put straight black on there. No, nothing with color. The other thing with sublimation that I forgot was butcher paper. So what you need when you're creating with sublimation, you have to create a barrier. And I'm going to show you what happens when you forget to create the barrier. So you need a barrier on your surface. So this is my Cricut. I use a Cricut heat press. This is my Cricut mat, heat mat, which is supposedly even distributes the heat. So to keep me from messing up my mat any more than it's already messed up, I should put a piece of butcher paper on top. I will put my fabric on top of that. And then to protect the facing of my heat press, and you don't want anything on that, you put another piece of butcher paper on it. So butcher paper is key with it. However, I left it at home, so we're gonna make it do what it do with what I got. So
Would parchment paper work? No.
Shopping
I
bag?
think so. Shopping bag would, butcher paper, craft paper, the brown craft paper at like Dollar Tree, that would work. I've used that. I mean, I got this. So I'm good. So, and you also have to have special paper for sublimation. So I can only attest to the paper that I've used. I've used this paper, which is called Craft and Bessie's paper, and I've used A-Sub paper. A-Sub is, you get it from Amazon, so you know how that story goes. Amazon, yeah, come on. It'll be here the next day. This I had to wait a week. So I've used both of those papers. One of the things that you'll notice when you're looking at my print, they look extremely faded. So if you see that, don't get alarmed. That's what it looks like when it comes out of the printer. Just like that. But when it comes out, it's vibrant. So I made this little doll skirt out of a piece of polyester that I had. And you can see how this side, it looked like this, and I printed it, and now it looks like this. So this side, you see it looks faded. Now it looks like that.
That was that?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question. Did I miss a step? First you print it on paper, then you put it on the
Yeah,
paper.
you have to have this
paper.
paper.
Has to have heat.
You have to have this paper.
You don't
So-
put that, okay.
It's not a
Yeah,
detail type thing.
Yeah, so what I do is I use my laptop, and I don't know, if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette at home, you may be familiar with Silhouette Studios.
I'm not, probably others are.
Well, you may have heard of it.
Back up a step.
Okay, I'm listening.
Give me the name again of one of these papers, very slowly.
This is sublimation paper. You can just Google
There's
sublimation
just different
paper.
brands.
Yeah, there are different brands.
Okay.
I'll just give you the names of two I've only used.
So,
But the way this works is I create a design on my laptop.
okay.
I use a program, Silhouette Studios. If you have a Cricut or a Silhouette, you would know what I'm talking about. You do not have to pay for a Silhouette Studio. It is free. So even if you have to design, I don't care if it's a card, you can go in there and use that and design it. It's free to you. What I do after that, I have to flip the image. So if you can see, my letters are backwards to you. But when I print them on whatever I'm printing on, it's gonna be on the right way. So I print this out of my printer. Then I take this, I take my fabric, I put the butcher paper under this on top, butcher paper on top of here, and then my heat press on top of there. And I press it for 60 seconds at 400 degrees.
Okay. And the pattern can be used only once?
Only once, yes. So I'm gonna do a demonstration. You're gonna see that you can really almost see that the ink is gone once I press it. So I wanted to show you, I bought this shirt. This was supposed to be my little walking advertisement for my YouTube channel. So I made this shirt, but if you notice down here, it's like a double print. Guess what? I forgot to put butcher paper down there to keep that from happening.
I'm sorry.
Shalisa, do you use heat tape?
Yes.
What was the butcher paper done?
Had I put the butcher paper on the inside, it would have kept the, what I had. This image was already on something I was laying on.
Oh.
So when I put that down, I didn't have the butcher paper there, and it reheated it, and it came on my shirt.
Too bad it just wasn't, next to them could be like a shed or
I'm not gonna throw it away, I'm just gonna put some black flowers or something down there.
That's a good idea.
Cover it up.
Yeah.
But that's sublimated?
Yes. You can feel it.
Great.
And sublimation is different from vinyl. Sublimation goes into the fibers of your shirt, so it's in your shirt. And Brandy had a good question, do I use heat tape? Yes, I do. You use heat tape to keep your image from moving. So say for instance, I was gonna press on this, I would use heat, I sometimes use heat tape. But I will put it right here, and you wanna keep that because that same thing that happened at the bottom of my shirt could also happen if your image shifts. It's called ghosting, so it'll almost look like you had a shadow on your words or something like that. That can happen.
Which would even like, if you had an iron that didn't get hot enough, you don't wanna use it, because you move an iron.
Right. You want something that's steady.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, if you use your Cricut heat press, I used to have a big one, 16 by 20. I had too many projects going on in my life. I had to decide which was most important. So sewing one, had to get rid of some things. So now I'm down to this. So with sublimation, you do have to put some pressure on it. If you have the heat press like a clamshell that actually comes down, it has pressure built into it. But because I'm using this, you'll see me press down on it because it needs some pressure on it. Not a lot, but just some. So I'm going to show you Karen's little phrase with her Richmond Really Sews. If it's done, it's perfect. I'm going to show you how that looks. So I have scraps I just bought scraps of paper to work with. And like I said, I forgot my craft paper, so my butcher paper, so we're gonna use this.
So
This is a Teflon sheet.
You going in the store and you say you want butcher paper?
You get it.
Yeah.
I never
get it at
heard
the
of
grocery
it
store.
before.
It's at the grocery store. It's in the
I
little
use-
rocks, that's what it's
Where they
I
have
use-
brown
yeah.
wrap and wax paper and all that stuff.
Parchment
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
Butcher,
It's in-
butcher wrap.
Like when you go to the butcher, you wrap your steak up.
So we'll do this. We'll do a cow print. I just had to make some wide leg pants for my granddaughter. She's a cow in a play. So I use sublimation to make the pants. So notice how faded this is. So I'm gonna put this down.
Is it gonna go everywhere?
And I will tell you another thing with sublimation. Like this, like I would just want to do one of those. It is best to tear your edges than it is to cut your edges. Because sometimes when you cut your edges, you can actually see that like that straight line that's pressed into your fabric. So it's best if you just tear around the edges of whatever your image is, just to keep it. It just, I don't know, it does something to it where it doesn't have that straight point going on the fabric when you press it. And something that I do not do like I should, and I should, you always want to have a lint roller, like the sticky kind. You always want to do that, and the reason you want to do that because the dust or whatever particles that you cannot see, they will actually turn blue from the dye of what you're trying to press. You'll see like little specks. There'll be blue or black specks, and that's just what got trapped in there because you didn't do the lint roll and get all of that stuff that you can't see out of there. Okay, so I'm going to show you. You see how light this is. We're going to press it for 60 seconds. And I'm just gonna come over to create my barrier. This is just a Teflon sheet, guys.
That wouldn't be adequate.
Yeah, you can use a Teflon sheet.
Do you find when you have like those smaller designs, it's better to use a smaller heat press?
You can. I have the so when I get ready to do this, I use the ribbon and I make my own labels. So when I get ready to do this, they have like a hand heat press Cricut does.
Yeah.
And that one actually gets to 400 degrees.
That's what I the one that looks like a little bitty iron.
Yeah, so if I'm actually just doing a label, I may just need one label. So I'll have these printed up. I'll just go and grab one and make one label, and I just do that. And then I have my label to put on my clothes or my bags, whatever I'm making.
So the question is, could you cheat and use an iron on something little teeny like that, like a label?
if it is it's 100 degrees.
Well, how do you know?
And
And
you
you
don't
don't
want
want
to
the
steam
steam
either.
They do have little ones, they have mini ones.
Yeah.
What?
Little heat presses or.
Yeah, that's what we was talking about.
Yeah.
But that one don't, it doesn't have a,
It's hard to
it don't have a timer, so you just have to remember to set your timer,
100 seconds.
on the 60 seconds, yeah.
Okay, so 60 seconds, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have to change, you said it for 60 seconds, is that for the 100% polyester? Do you adjust it when you have like a polyester cotton blend?
I do not.
Okay.
And now, here's the thing with sublimation that I found, it is playing with it.
Sure.
Because I'm telling you, 400 degrees, your heat press may be different from mine. So if your heat press may do it at 385. My big 16 by 24, I couldn't go past 385 or I would burn something up.
Sure.
So it just depends on you playing with your machine. The Cricut is just accurate.
That's what I have,
Yeah.
but like some of the stuff in like with the HTV stuff, like
Mhm.
their guide is a little like their website tells you what to like set your heat press at.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if it's just because it's like in my studio, maybe like the space outside since it's just like a shed. Like I think it might mess with it, but so.
I feel like with heat presses is a matter of playing around with
Yeah.
it. And then when you find a setting, you have to write it down, because that's just what I had to do, because everybody was like 400 degrees, and then my stuff wasn't coming out right, so I had to learn to adjust it down some.
Yeah.
And I just put up, hey, this got to be at 385, or this has to be at 390, or whatever. So it's just the matter of playing around with it.
And was that based on the fabric? Cause I'm thinking a lot of polyesters would melt. How do you know that it's not gonna melt at 400 degrees?
I don't know what's not the
Polyester.
fabric.
Yeah, the polyester when you put 400 degrees on it.
I mean, it could.
You've never had the fabric
You've learned, you know, then you know that that's too high. I'm not trying to be smart ass.
So do you?
But I'm saying that comes with playing around with the series
Yeah.
though. That comes with playing around, cause I know what you're saying, because I've done these ribbons for my tag, and I've had to accommodate on the big heat press that it can't, this little bitty ribbon can't take all that heat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you always do a test.
Right. So I wasn't trying to be smart.
No, I get it.
So that's what you use to make your little sewing instructions, like hand wash, whatever, that's what you use, is that what you use to make your little tags inside?
What? Sublimation?
The
Yes.
ribbon, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I thought I had some printed out, exactly what you're saying, but yeah. I just get different sizes, and you get this from, Hobby, I get it from Hobby Lobby, Walmart got it. You just wanna make sure it's 100% polyester, and I have used this, I have used the beige. But yeah, and you just make it, you just type it out and shrink it down to the size you need it, and you just, wash, you can put the wash label on here. I have done that for kids' clothes, wash with care, or if it's something that I need a certain message on, I have done that, yeah.
Have you done it directly on the garment itself?
Yeah, polyester garment, yeah.
Oh.
So,
I know I missed it.
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry if I.
so that, I don't know, you're fine. So that just keeps somebody from scratching and, you know. Yes,
And
ma'am.
did you do that before you finished it or after?
This, after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's good in terms when you put facing or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but all I just put the little craft paper,
She's helped me with
what I'm saying,
mine.
butcher paper under there. I just stuck it under
YouTube
there.
videos.
And I used the one that she
First
asked me
two.
about. I used
Third
my
one
little
I did.
handheld. And put it on there.
Oh,
And
that's
just
cool.
tied it. Yeah. But I was just showing them how I used the sublimation to decorate the bottom of this dress. So it didn't come like that. I put the flowers on.
I know. That's cool. Mm-hmm.
So now you can see that it's really faded, so that means it went somewhere, the ink is gone. And it looks vibrant.
So cool.
Didn't take much for us. Who needed that? Sign us up.
So So that's just what I use sublimation for. Listen, sublimation can go a long way. There are people who just make t-shirts and sell them. If you got there are people who have programs on their computers where they can print out the kind of like y'all are doing with the the projector, how it's projecting down the pieces. These people are printing out their pieces and sewing them together to make clothes. So it's called Sub and Sew.
So why are you doing that? You're gonna go in business?
No, I was.
I see you on Perry Street.
Oh no! During the pandemic, I had a lot of orders for t-shirts, and I learned how to do this because it saves time from peeling all of that vinyl. So it was easier to do this. And then when they wanted their picture on it, they just needed to send me a picture and I could put their picture on.
So like for a union or?
Yeah. But no, sewing is my love. So now I just do this at the bottom. But here, these are some things if you ever decide to try it. I do have scraps if somebody wanted to try before they go. But this satin pillowcase I got from Dollar Tree, that's something that you can put sublimation on that.
You could do hers and his pillows.
You could. Michael sells these little tote bags. They're polyester. They're usually $1.99. You can put what you want on there.
Where is that?
Michael's. And I got this from Dollar Tree. These are, everything $1.25 now. I took these to market. I put people's football teams, different football teams on here, and I sold these for, I don't know, $3 or something. This one they used to be $1. It was like $4 for this. But yeah, so I had all the different teams that I thought that everybody was in love with local to the area. So that was something else I made with these. So these are just inexpensive things, as well as you can do the labels. So all I do is cut a piece of ribbon and I print out whatever it is I want this to say. And then I print it on this. So I got one right here. You can do it. This is just, I'm showing you what I do with sewing. They have, Cricut, you can do this to a mug. They have mugs where you can do this too. You can do it to a lot of things.
Really? You hold that thing up against the side of the mug?
No, Cricut has a thing where you would use your heat tape and tape your image to it, and they have a mug press. You just put the mug down in it, and when you press the button, the heat hugs it for however long that it needs to be done.
How expensive is that?
All of these crafts are expensive. I got this off Facebook Marketplace.
Sure, okay.
$75.
Okay, I just have no idea. I don't buy anything new either.
Me,
So.
right. You already know the name of my store.
The small one is 30.
You can
I'll have to be looking for
you can
one.
get that size for $99 every once in a while. Like Michael's will have it on sale.
Well, yeah.
So that's
Hey guys, that's the end of my presentation. I just wanted to share that with you in case you were interested in sublimation. Like I say, I used to do it, but now I just do it mainly to embellish my sewing projects because I had too much going on, so I had to downsize on what it is that I was going to do as far as my hobbies and the things that I love. And like I say, sewing is my first love. So I still do it to a certain extent, but mostly to embellish the makes that I am sewing. And just don't forget, it needs to be on 100% polyester. You have to have a heat press that goes to 400 degrees. So I do know that the Cricut heat press does go on sale, but you need to make sure it's the one that goes on sale that reaches 400 degrees because I know the older models do not go to 400 degrees. This goes so far and so deep with sublimation. There's so many things that you can do. So just take your time and research it and see what it is that you want to get into and the extent that you would like to get into it. I found a video of someone who actually does the whole process So I'm going to link that in the description. They show you the process of them making it on their computer, printing it out, pressing it with their heat press, and sewing it together. So I am going to link that video in the description because I think it's something that you might want to see, and it might be something that you're interested in doing. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day. It's so beautiful out here. I wish I could stay outside and just grill up something and sit and chill. But I got videos to make. But with that being said, don't forget to go and sew something fabulous. Have a great weekend.